What's up, friends? Welcome back to my channel. I hope you all are doing well. Today, we're talking about blushes. My top 5 favorite blushes. Blushes for spring, blushes for summer, blushes for all year round. I put up a poll on my Instagram the other day asking you guys if I were to do a top 5 video, what category do you want me to do? And you guys voted for blush, so that is what we are talking about today. If you guys want to see what blushes made the cut, then keep watching. And if you are new here, welcome. My name is Sophia, and this is my channel where we talk about all things beauty and luxury. We have a lot of fun here on my channel. I review all of the newest luxury beauty releases. We do fun tag videos, favorite videos, top 5 videos, bag unboxings, fashion, everything. So if you want to see a little bit more beauty and a little bit more luxury in your feed, then definitely hit that subscribe button and hit the notification bell to hear about every time I post a new video. Don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up. It definitely helps me out, and I will be linking everything that I mentioned in this video in the description box down below. You guys know I always appreciate it when you shop through my affiliate links. It's a really great way to support my channel. And with that, let's get into these blushes. Now, this is not a ranking video, so I'm not going to be talking about these blushes in any particular order. It was hard enough to limit this to 5 blushes. This was hard, guys, because I have a lot of blushes and they're all my blush babies. You guys are having me choose between my children here, okay? But I tried to kind of narrow it down to the blushes that I reach for the most, the ones where I feel like, you know what? I have the most colors, I use them a lot, and I think have a really special, really beautiful formula that I think you guys are gonna enjoy as well. So let's get started. Are we surprised to see these? No, we are not. These are the Pat McGrath Skin Fetish Divine Blush Collection. These come in 9 shades and they are a whopping $39. I know, they're so expensive. And guys, I have all of these blushes. I have the full collection finally. I've been slowly collecting every single shade. I feel like she really nails every single shade. We have some pinks, we have some nudes, we have some pops of color, we've got terracottas. You really have a really nice selection of shades here. And what I also love about this is the formula. This is described by Pat McGrath as having a petal soft touch. And I know that she's a little bit over the top in her descriptions, but I have to agree, these are very petally soft. In addition to the gorgeous color range and the beautiful pan embossing, this formula, it's so blendable, it's so finely milled. You're gonna see sort of a trend in these top 5 blushes where all of them blend onto the cheeks very effortless. They're all very easy. They go on, they look very natural, they blend into the skin. And I feel like for me, the Divine Blush Collection from Pat McGrath, it's kind of my all around like standard luxury blush. These are my go-tos. I feel like I have a color for everything in the collection. A lot of the other blushes that I'm gonna be mentioning after this, there's a little something different about them. There's a little something special about them. I feel like with these, they're just good blushes. They're just an amazing formula. They come in both a demi matte and a satin pearl finish. The demi matte it's exactly what it sounds. It's not quite matte. It has like a little bit of a sheen. It's a really nice soft touch to the cheeks. And then the satin pearl finish, those ones are gonna have just a little bit of not shimmer, but just a nice little sheen to the skin. And I'm gonna show you an example of one in a second. While I'm not gonna swatch every single shade in this video, I am gonna show you guys my favorites from each formula. So when we're looking at Pat McGrath, I have 3 that I wanna show you guys, starting off with Fleurtatious. What I like about this is that it's a really nice natural blush, but it's not too orangey, it's not too brown, it's not straight up pink. It's basically a nudie pink, but with a cool undertone. I feel like this is really unique and it goes good with more maybe extreme eye looks. If you just want something that is very soft and subtle to pair with a smoky eye, especially if you're not going in the bronze direction and you're going in more of like the mauvey direction. This is one of the more recent ones that I purchased and it's quickly become a favorite of mine. I also adore this one, Paradise Venus, which is described as a terracotta. If you are new here, I love sort of like brown and terracotta blushes. I'm very pale, so I like anything that gives me that like faked bronze look, like, oh, I was out in the sun and maybe I got a little sunburn, now it's turning into a tan, except that never happens to me because I don't tan and have to wear a lot of sunscreen. So I really like these kinds of blushes that give me a nice sort of tanned, burnt terracotta look to the skin, and Paradise Venus, this is definitely one of my favorites. I can't do this video without talking about Desert Orchid. This is one of my most favorite blushes in my collection. It is absolutely absolutely stunning. This is one of the ones I was talking about that has that satin pearl finish. This is kind of like your perfect peachy nude color. I feel like this goes with everything in my collection, and it has just a little hint of like gold shimmer. Again, it's not glittery. It doesn't look like a highlighter. It's just a little bit glowier than the other ones I showed you, which are in the demi matte formula. This is the one that I am wearing on my cheeks today, and it's definitely one of the most used blushes in my collection. The next formula that I want to mention is actually a cream formula, and that is the Glossier Cloud Paint. I know, throwback. I feel like Glossier was doing really good cream products before cream products were popular. Do any of you guys feel that way? And I feel like the Glossier Cloud Paints, nobody talks about them anymore, but they're still so good. These retail for $18 and they come in 8 shades, which once again, I have all the shades. This is a buildable gel cream formula, and as the name would suggest, it really just blends out like a cloud on your cheek. These are the cloud paints. It's like a wash of color on your cheeks, and what I like about it as well is that they are decently pigmented. They don't just blend out into nothing, and they really set down. I feel like a lot of folks, they don't like cream blush because they're afraid that the formula is going to be sticky, that like their hair is gonna stick to it. These never get sticky. In fact, on the Glossier website, it says these are the most user-friendly blushes in the world. And I have to agree, they are very user-friendly. They're just so effortless. They never get sticky. They set down, but they still give you that really nice natural cream blush look. In addition, for $18, you're getting so much product. You really don't, like, this is a lifetime supply of cloud paint. I have a color here I'm gonna show you that I've been using for a very long time, very frequently, and I almost feel like I haven't made a dent in it. So for that, these are also an incredible value. If I had to choose my favorite shades, I would probably start off with Dawn. This is a beautiful bright orange. I love to wear this in the summertime as a nice wash of sort of like, you know, like a tangerine flush. I also really like Storm, which similar to Dawn, it's very pigmented, except this is a beautiful sort of purpley plum color. I really like this one for sort of the fall and winter to get that kind of like bitten flushed aspen cheek. And then to no one's surprise, my favorite color, which is one of my favorite blushes of all time, is the color Dusk. I know, this looks super duper boring. It's just a nude blush, but this is the perfect nude. Similar to Desert Orchid from Pat McGrath, this is a really nice nude, except this one is a little bit more of a true nude. It's not gonna be as peachy, and it's not really gonna have that sheen that you get from the Pat McGrath blush, but I really like this because this just is a no-brainer. It really just goes with any look, especially if you're doing a smoky eye and you just want the rest of your face to be pretty simple. This is perfect. These are also really great for travel, so I'm always bringing these with me on every single vacation. It's just so lightweight, so I know that I can kind of just pop this in my bag and this is going to work. One more thing that I want to mention about this color Dusk is that this is the perfect shade to mix with the rest of the colors in the line. If you're looking at something like Dawn and you're like, okay, that's a really bright orange, and maybe you're almost a little bit, you know, scared to put that on your cheeks, like it's going to be too bright, or maybe you're just not going for this color, Dusk is the perfect color to sort of mix with all of the other colors in the line to kind of just take them down a notch. Like it just sort of neutralizes the color just a bit. So if I do want something that is very orangey, but I don't want it to be that bright, I just mix these babies together into a perfect little cocktail, and there we've got your perfect color. Next up, I want to talk about the Suqqu Melting Powder Blushes. These come in 8 shades and they retail for $46. These are definitely the most expensive blushes that I'm going to be talking about in this video, but I love these. I hate to say it because they're so expensive, but I do really love these. I think these are some of the most unique formula I've ever tried in blush. These have a really high oil content, so although it is a powder blush, as the name would suggest, it really just melts into the skin because that high oil content gives it kind of like a little bit of a creaminess. You guys will probably notice in the product shots, there's definitely like a sheen in the pan where I've swatched the product. It's a really interesting texture, and what it does is that it gives this really beautiful skin-like natural look to the skin. If you're somebody that maybe you don't want to work with a cream blush, but you want something that's a little bit more natural and a little bit more of like a nice healthy glow compared to maybe a matte powder blush, then these are going to be great for you. Now, Suqqu is kind of of known for their blushes, they actually have another formula called the Pure Color Blush. I actually really recommend those as well, but I ended up picking these as my favorites because I do think that the formula here is just a little bit more unique. I also think that the colors in this line are just a tad bit more neutral, so I tend to reach for these as well. If you guys are interested in hearing a little bit more about these Suqqu blushes, I do have a full review of these here on my channel where I kind of compare them with the other Suqqu blushes and other blushes in my collection, so definitely check that out. The colors that I wanted to show you today are number 7 Yoiurushi. As you can see, I really like terracotta blushes. This is actually really similar to Paradise Venus from Pat McGrath. It's just, I believe it's just a little bit more red, but I still really like this tone. Again, I can't get enough of my terracotta blushes. And then you guys would have recently heard me singing praises of this one. This is number 4 Sumiiro. This is gonna be the perfect blush for you if you're looking for a really good nude blush from this line. And yes, it is very similar to Desert Orchid from Pat McGrath. You can see a trend here in like what kind of tones that I like, but it is different. It doesn't have as much of that sort of gold sheen. I would say this has a little bit more of like a natural look to it. Again, these really just kind of melt into the skin. And this hands down is one of the most used blushes in my collection. This is the one that I've been reaching for the most probably in the past couple of months since these released. We gotta talk about Mr. Patrick Ta. These are the Major Headlines Double Take Cream and Powder Blush. These retail for $34 and there are 8 shades at the time of me making this video. He did recently release some new shades and I believe I have 6 of the shades, so I do have quite a few of them. I love a good 2-in-1. Most of you guys are familiar with these already. These come with both a cream blush and then you also have a powder blush. I love the versatility of these. I have a lot of cream and powder blushes in my collection, but I decided to put these in my top 5 because I truly do use them so much. I find myself reaching for them all the time. I bring them with me when I travel. I just love the versatility. Once again, I love a good 2-in-1. And the way that Patrick likes to apply these is he actually applies the powder blush first to the face and then he kind of melts everything together with the cream blush. But you could do it the opposite way. If you really want to lock and load, you could put the cream blush down first and then the powder. You can use either or. I like to use these on my eyes as well. I just find that these are so versatile and each of the individual formulas is really top notch. And so it's kind of a no-brainer for me to put these in my top 5. And the first shade that I want to talk about is She's So LA. I feel like when this collection first launched, everybody was really afraid of this shade because it just looks so brown, like a brown blush. Is it a bronzer? Is it a blush? It's kind of both. I don't have anything else in my collection that is quite this brown, but it really gives you that beautiful suntanny look. I feel like once the reviews came in, this quickly became a favorite for a lot of people. And then my other favorite shade is one of the newer colors. This is called She's Blushing. I feel like this shade is always sold out right now, especially because this is one of the newer ones. Unlike She's So LA, which is more of a brownie nude, She's Blushing, you can see it's definitely a nude, but it's more of like a soft pinky nude. I think this is described as like a beige on Sephora. I don't think I would describe this as a beige. This is like a beautiful soft rose. If this is your first time buying a blush for the collection, I definitely would recommend picking up this one, especially because it is just such a nice neutral. I also really like the fact that the powder blush in here, for whatever reason, it just is a tad bit glowier than the other powders in the other colors. It just has like a little bit more of a shimmer and I definitely appreciate that. I also think that this one looks absolutely stunning. Just all over the eyes. You can use it as a one and done shadow, put on some mascara and you're good to go. I really love this shade, She's Blushing. And lastly, at number 5, I wanted to talk about one of my favorite glowy blush formulas, and those are the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Blushes. I mostly collect these in sort of these limited edition palettes. It takes me a really long time to go through all of these blushes. So this one right here is actually a limited edition palette from like 2 or 3 holidays ago, and it is one of my favorite blush palettes in my collection. However, they also have these beautiful singles that you can purchase in their permanent collection. All of the colors are so beautiful. These retail for $43, but they also come in minis for $26. So if you guys want to give them a try, I highly recommend picking up one of their minis. I think they have about 7 or 8 shades in the main line. If you guys aren't familiar, Hourglass has those ambient lighting setting powders. They're kind of like finishing powders. They're very like minerally and glowy. They give a really nice airbrush look to the skin. So what they've done with these blushes is that they've taken those ambient lighting setting powders and they've just mixed and marbled them together with these blush pigments. So when you swirl these around with your blush and you apply them to your face, you're gonna get a really nice, soft, natural kind of airbrushed blush look to the skin. I really love all the colors. I don't think there's a single blush in this line that I haven't enjoyed. It really just depends depends on the type of tone and finish that you like. I also feel like in general, these types of blushes along with the finishing powders, they don't swatch really well. Like they look kind of unimpressive when they're swatched, but once you put them on your skin, they just look so gorgeous, especially if you're pale like me and you're a little bit afraid of like a lot of pigment and really getting that pigment blended out into a natural way. I find that these are extremely user friendly. The shade that I have right here that I want to show you guys that is not limited edition is called At Night. This definitely looks like it's going to be super deep in the pan, but once you swirl it together, you'll notice it really does kind of blend into something that is like a very natural sort of plum color to the cheeks. I love this for sort of the evening, especially in like the fall or the winter. I love this color. I don't have that many of their permanent collection. Once again, I do collect a lot of the ones from their holiday time, and it takes me a very long time to finish these blushes, but I want to show you guys this color because I picked this up in a recent Sephora sale. It's quickly become a favorite of mine. My only complaint with these blushes is that this color is the darkest color in their line, and as you guys saw, it is like pretty natural on me. It doesn't add that much pigment. For me, it works beautifully, but I think for those with other skin tones, I'm not sure if this is going to work. I definitely would like to see some more colors come out from Hourglass, especially those in kind of like the deeper spectrum and the brighter spectrum. And even myself, like you guys see, I love bright and very pigmented and dark blushes. I can figure out how to make them work for me. I'm just like not sure this is gonna work for everybody as the darkest shade. So that's my only complaint with this particular line. All right, friends, those are my top 5 favorite blush formulas. Comment down below and let me know what you thought of my choices. This was definitely very hard, especially because I have so many blushes that I like in my collection. Some honorable mentions were the NARS Orgasm on the Beach blush palette, which is limited edition. It is on sale, so I will link that down below. I really love the Wayne Goss blushes. I love the Tower 28 cream blushes, the Nude Sticks Nudies. I have so many blushes that I like in my collection, but for whatever reason, I tried to really limit it to things that were not too glowy, that were true blushes, and were the ones that I just reach for the most and I have the most colors. So I would love to hear from you guys in the comments. What are some of your favorite blush formulas? What are some that you think that I should try? And also, what do you want me to do for my next top 5 video? I was kind of thinking like bronzers for summer, maybe foundations, sunscreens, top 5 glowy products, top 5 cream products. So sound off in the comments down below and let me know what you would like to see next. Don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up, guys. It definitely helps me out. I will also pop on my Instagram handle in case you would like to follow me over there. We have a lot of fun over there. That's where you guys can connect with me on the reg. That's where I let you guys know about all of the beauty sales, product drops, things that come back in stock, things that I'm buying. We have so much fun over there, so definitely head on over and connect with me on Insta. I hope that you guys are having a fantastic day, and I will see you in my next one. Goodbye.